Hello everyone, welcome you all in very first class of mechanical portion of EV. And obviously this one is the first session, first lecture. So we are going to cover the fundamental of chassis. So first of all, the message for those candidates which are belongs to electrical branch or electronics branch. So kindly take your copy and pen and note down a single point, whatever I am explaining here, for the better understanding of mechanical things. And for mechanical candidates or from hydraulic background, for pure automobile, this will be the very easy and fundamental class. So let us understand one by one. We will understand what is the basic things related to chassis, difference in frame and chassis, types of chassis you can say. So today we are going to cover the different types of chassis. So let's start this session. What is chassis basically? Chassis is a fully functional and movable unit except the body, consisting of all the systems mounted. What does it mean by fully functional? Let us understand here. If I am talking about frame, so frame is basically the primary structure of body. This is what primary structure. And by the way, this is not fully functional. I am taking one example. In a vehicle, in any car, similar like this. So car having many more things: steering setups, suspension, transmission, battery motor controller or engine. So if we are removing all the parts, even including wheels and propeller shafts. So if we are removing all functional components from this particular structure, mechanical structure, so that will become a frame. And if we are including all functional items like steering, brakes, suspension, battery motor, controller, wheels, so that particular body, the object will call chassis. So this is what means of fully functional. Except body means, so this is, suppose I am taking an example of truck. So you have seen this kind of structure. So there is only one seat of a driver, for a driver here, and the entire truck is like that. There is no body work here. So body is not including in chassis. Okay, fine. So I hope you understand the difference in frame and chassis and the basic definition of chassis. So what is the basic purpose? Very easy, to connect all four wheels. This one is, suppose this one is a chassis. What I will do, I will connect. I will connect. This one is what? Suppose this one is a basic frame. So what I will do, first of all, I will connect all four wheels and other, suppose steering, brake, transmission and power source also will consider. So these things, if we are connecting here, to connect all these component within a system, so we require the chassis basically, which is rigid in bending and torsion. This one is very important thing. Bending and torsion, suppose we have a rod, we fix it like this. If the vertical load will applied here, so this will try to be bend like this. So this phenomena is called bending. So this frame or chassis is designed to resist the bending moment and torsion. On torsion we can define like this. Suppose this one is what? The structure of road like this, and a car is moving here with a certain velocity. During the turn, because of centripetal and centrifugal forces, and the force is acting on a body which it tried to twist it. So twisting force, basically this is what torsion. So torsion, we are designing this frame or chassis to resist this particular torsion and bending. So our mechanical portion or our this frame should be able to withstand the minimum amount of or desired bending and torsion moments. And next one, it must be capable of supporting all components and occupants and should observe all kind of load into it without deflection and delay. This one is most important, I'll say. See, the basic purpose of frame including to withstand the load, the load of vehicle and the load of goods or load of passengers. So everything is transferring to wheel and further ground with the help of frame only. So that must be capable to support all the loads of the components of passenger or goods, whatever it is. And also be through the skeleton of an automobile. Similarly, the skeleton of human being, human or animals, this is also act as a skeleton of automobile. So we are removing the skeleton, the components will be mixed up. Let us move ahead. See, I have considered here some parts of normal vehicles like a radiator, engine, clutch, gearbox. So we are removing here with the help of battery, motor and controller. So we can remove this particular thing. No need of radiator, mechanical radiator for cooling purpose. What? Propeller shaft is okay, differential is also okay. Okay. And braking system is okay. You can use the transmission unit also here. 9 number is what? Transmission unit. Transmission unit you can add here. Battery is given here, also not a problem. So this is what the basic component of chassis. Chassis including frame, first one. Suspension, there should be steering mechanism. Battery, motor and controller is given here. And you can see the propeller shaft for the transmission of motion or torque, whatever you can say. The differential for converting this torque into this wheels, we are using this one is what? Propeller shaft. And the braking system to deaccelerate or stop the vehicle. This one is very easy. So these are the basic components which we are attaching through chassis. Okay, let's move next ahead. Let us understand the types of chassis. First one is what? The backbone. As the name indicate, the structure of this particular chassis is like this. You can go ahead. You can compare this. Now you can connect 2 wheels here and 2 wheels here. So this is similar to like a human backbone which is supporting the total weight during the motion of body. Let us see one by one. We'll explain and understand the basic difference. We'll cover this point on the basis of advantage and disadvantage. Even disadvantage is very much important for an engineer, because we are looking for the problems every time. So kindly focus on advantage as well as disadvantage also. So because this one is most important. And this one is what? As per the development order. First one, the engineers develop this one. Second one, they develop this one. Third one, they develop this kind one. Fourth one like this. This one is what? During the same period of time, I'll say. And ULSAB is a modern one. Let's move ahead. So first form is basically called the backbone chassis. See, you can see the structure. This can be used. Let us understand how we can define it. So backbone chassis is basically very simple, strong tubular backbone. Tubular means we can make, this one is what, the kind of pipe tube structure, we can make it like this, and attaching the some other supporting components here, some supporting components. Even during the design classes, we will understand properly how we can go ahead, how we can design it. See, usually in rectangular section also we are using it, what, rectangular sections connect with all front and rear axle to provides nearly all the mechanical strength. All mechanical strength means primarily you can understand the bending strength, bending and torsion, and inside which there is a space for the drive shaft in case of front engine rear wheel drive layout, and also there should be the space for, suppose engine is mounted here in this side or in this side, so if you need to transfer the power from here to here, there should be the space to transfer the power from front to rear end. Next one, you can move ahead with the advantage. I say this one is very, very much important. The advantage are very much important. Just a minute, let me, yes. So how advantages are important? Let us understand. What is advantage? Basically, this one is very small. Strong enough means bending and torsion rigidity is good. This one is rigid, I'll say strong one. Smaller sport cars, easy to make by hand, thus cheap for the low volume production and more space. See, if something is easy in what, manufacturing, so that will what, easy in manufacturing means cost will be less, production will be high, If it is very simple, so that means you can say robotized production is can be done. Robotized production can be done. Space saving, obviously this one is very simple, so you have spaces there to use it. What is the disadvantage? Earlier I say disadvantage are even more important than advantage for an engineer. So let us focus here. Not strong enough for a larger car. So what will happen if you develop a backbone like this, big one? So the bending moment of this particular body, the strength against bending will decrease. What will happen? The strength against bending and torsion will decrease. So you can note all these points are very important on the basis of for the interviews. So we will increase the length of this particular frame. So the bending strength and torsion strength both will decrease. So this is not good for the long vehicles, you can say. Larger cars, and does not provide protection against side impact. You can see here there is one member here middle. There is no side member connecting for saving the side impact, mean the force, impact force acting from the side in vehicle. So there is no other component to resist these forces which is coming from the side, these forces. So what, this is not good for the side impacts, also not better in for the larger cars who are using Lotus, TVR and Marcos. Go ahead with next one, ladder frame chassis. So with the disadvantage of first one, we will go for the solution. So that was the basic disadvantage. What was the basic disadvantage? For there's a side impact in previous one, and also not good for long vehicle. And you can see this ladder frame is useful. First we have avoided one member here which was in middle one, and we have used two longitudinal rails here, two members, very good in side protection, you can say. So we overcome the disadvantage of previous one in next one. So this is called the revolution in engineering, one by one modification, you can say, as per the requirements, as per the customer feedbacks. So as per the engineering defects, we can modify. So very good in side impacts if force is acting here, and also it has a good strength in for long vehicle, for trucks, you can say they are using it, buses they are using it, all good carriers are using this one. So indicate by the name, looks like a ladder, two longitudinal rails interconnected by several lateral rail cross braces, and to increase the strength of this particular frame, what you can say, you can add some cross braces like this between the ear. You can use some cross braces here. So the strength of this particular frame will also increase. So that will, if you are going to add the cross braces, the weight of particular frame also will increase in same time. So they can deal with the load and also the longitudinal forces caused by the acceleration. That is good for acceleration and braking. So see, during the acceleration and braking, what is going on? Load is transferring from front to rear or rear to front. So during braking, load is transferring from rear side to front side, and during acceleration, load is transferring from front side to rear side. So in that case, in both cases, this one is what? Good frame. So this can manage the load, transfer load. Cross member provide the resistance to lateral forces. They see the cross members are here to resist the side impacts. Okay. So the further increased torsion rigidity. So because of this, torsion rigidity has increased. So we have solved the disadvantage, the problems which we observed in the front frame. Let us go ahead with the disadvantage and advantage of this frame. Well, it has no much advantage in there. In modern time, apart from the heavy vehicles, the sports cars and other cars are not using this particular frames. So it is easy and cheap for the hand builds. If it is easy and cheap for hand builds, that means rate of production is high. और क्या सकते हैं, cost is less. Robotized production can be done. Robotized production possible, and also you can say the mass production, we can see for the mass or volume production. So disadvantage kya? Since here you can say that this one is two-dimensional structure. So load either from the vertical side or from the horizontal side structure. Torsion rigidity is very much lower than the other chassis, especially when dealing with the vertical load bumps. See, this kind of frames are weaker in case of vertical loading. Suppose this one is what I'll say, this one is a ladder frame. What will happen? This one wheel is here, other wheel one is here. So if you are increasing the strength of this frame, what you can say? You can select the heavier material. So in that case, the self weight of this particular object will increase. So in engineering point of view, that is not good also. So what we are looking in engineering, here I am writing, mass should be less as much as possible. And strength should be high. So this one is what, remember always this line, this is the key for design, key sentence for the design. So if we are going to increase the strength of this frame by increasing the thickness of material, ultimately we are going to increase the weight, which is not good. If we will increase the weight, that means we are going to increase the power of the engine for the same speed and all. So problems will increase, problem बढ़ती ही जाएगी. So हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं? We cannot increase the weight. So we should consider that two-dimension structure is a kind of problem, especially in torsional rigidity. So dealing with the vertical dump, ठीक है, okay. Who use it? Most of SUVs. You can say all the load carrying vehicles are currently using this one. जैसे car, Lincoln Town car, Ford and Crown, other others. Okay, go ahead. Next one. Tubular space frame. So in previous one, let us understand this. So in previous one we understand the two dimension body having a problem with loading, and that is true, absolutely true. So if we have a three-dimensional frame or three-dimensional body, the capacity of withstand the load will increase, absolutely. So tubular space frame chassis employs dozens of circular section of pipes. See, we can use either bar also, we can use the bar also, and we can use the pipe also. So tubular means, as a name indicates, we'll look into the tubular structure also. So हम लोग बहुत सारे pipes को, this is the frame of F1 car. So we are including the number of pipes for cutting, bending and welding. We are creating this very much complex structure, not easy to manufacture. Robotized production is not possible. Even machine production is not possible. This is what handmade, truly handmade. You need to weld each and every point. Here you can see the number of spots here for the weldings. So robotized welding is not possible at all at these places. And also the fixing of component on pipe, drilling of pipe even is very difficult. Drilling and mounting of components on the pipe is even very difficult at all. So this one is what a complex one, but the strength is very much high. Why? Because we are providing the truss kind of structure. Which one? Truss. I hope you understand that truss means the mechanical component with the help of for purpose of distribution of load. I'll explain here how. Suppose this one is a single structure like this. If you will apply the load here, what will happen? This load will distributed in both components. Similarly, if we have a structure like this, so what will happen if the load will act here? So the load will distributed into this one, into this one, into this one, into this one, into this one. So symbol, suppose I am applying a load here, one portion, 2, 3 and 4. This one is a point connection. If I am applying here 100 Newton force, what will happen? The load will distribute here equally. So this is simple kind of thing. I am making it very simple. Suppose this one is what? So if load is acting here, the load will directly transfer to here. And if I am making the structure like this, what will happen? The same load will distributed in 3 parts. So truss structures or truss kind of structures is members is provided here for the distribution of load. So that's why the crash test on this vehicle is what very successful. we get the higher strength here. So the position in different direction to provide the mechanical strength against the force from anywhere. See, if load is coming here, no problem. Load is coming from this side, no problem. Load is coming from front, rear or side impact. For the front impact, this one is what good for the, I'll say this one is good for the front impact. Front impact. Good for the side impact. And also good for the rear impact. Front, side impact and rear impact, good for all. So that's not a problem. So these tubes are welded together and forms a very complex structure. So complexity is a big issue here, big problem here. Because of complex structure, because of this complexity, we cannot robotize this production. So mass or volume production is not possible here. You can say advantage, very strong in any direction. Ladder chassis or monocoque. Monocoque we will discuss later. Not a problem. For same bed. Disadvantage, very complex, costly, time consuming. Absolutely. If something is very costly, so that will be something is complex, that means costly will be and time consuming also. Time consume करेगा तो obviously cost बढ़ जाएगा. Time ज़्यादा लगेगा to build, to impossible for the robotized production. Absolutely right. And beside it, engage a lot of space, rate, doors. And if you are, see, in previous structures, you can see, if you are going to add the doors here, what will happen? There is very less space even for the passenger. This was a single seater for the driver only. But if you are going for the, you can see here who are using. So you can see here, Ferraris are using this, Lamborghinis are using this, Jaguar. So these vehicles having very less space for the door and all. That's why you can say the vertical doors are using here for the purpose to saving the space, and very less space for the other person like who is sitting here. So if you are making a constructing a F1 frame, you can see the, because of stability purpose, it has very less ground clearance also. Raised door is still difficult access to the cabin. Absolutely, it is very difficult to enter into the driver's cabin because of complex structure and all. So go for the next one. I hope you understand. For any kind of confusion and all, directly you can message in the WhatsApp group without feeling any kind of problem, or directly you can message me for any kind of problem. 9990 634057, because 57, this one is 57. अगर अच्छे से हम लोग समझ नहीं पाएंगे तो इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट इवन जब हम लोग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए आगे बढ़ेंगे, फैब्रिकेशन के लिए आगे बढ़ेंगे. So you should have a complete knowledge how you are going to increase the torsional rigidity, how you are going to increase the bending moment, reduce the effect of bending moment, how you can decrease the mechanical properties. So this is going to be very important for you all. Move ahead with the monocoque. So today 99% of car produce is still monocoque chassis. This is absolutely true. When you will see the structure, you will say the same thing. Cost and stability to robotized production. Monocoque is a one piece structure. Absolutely note it down. It is one piece structure which define the overall shape. This is very important. Shape of the car. ये ऐसे इसी तरीके से बन जाता है. See, even you can define the aerodynamic shape of the car also with the help of this monocoque chassis. So that is not big problem. While ladder and tubular stress frame and backbone chassis provide only the stress members and need to build body around them. अभी जैसे आप मान लेते हैं ये हमारा सपोज लैडर फ्रेम है. अब ये तो सिर्फ फ्रेम ही फ्रेम है, इसके ऊपर हमें इसे कवर करने के लिए बना नहीं पड़ते थे. अदर कंपोनेंट्स वी यूज्ड, बट फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर द मोनोकॉक फ्रेम, so you no need to make the like a cover for the particular frame and all. So this is absolutely ready made. It is coming absolutely ready made. Okay. So the shape and size is absolutely decided, already incorporated with the body in a single piece. ठीक है. Monocoque chassis also benefits crash protection because it is used a lot of metal. A crumble zone can be built into the structure. See, this frame is made by the combination of many seats. Very, देखो एक बहुत थिन सीट हमने लिया, फिर एक दूसरा भी थिन सीट हमने लिया. वी कंसीडर द सेकेंड सीट थिन सीट ऑल्सो. So the strength of this particular frame is increased. Okay, let's move ahead. Understand the advantage and disadvantage. See the structure of this particular frame. Anna? So this one is what? Giving the complete here. If you are going for the wheels this side and this side, so this is giving the complete like a structure of the vehicle. So this is what the space for two doors, and the space for other two doors are here. So this is this one is what roof, and this one is giving the for the backside sealed and all. This one is a place for engine. Here you can see the advantage is what? Cheap for the mass production, good crash protection, sufficient space. There is no problem of space. Even sedan, hatchback cars are made by this frame. Disadvantage: heavy, impossible for a small volume. See, why it is impossible for a small volume? Let us understand. Because this particular thing is made by the process called hydroforming. So if you are looking for a complete process and system for hydroforming, so initial cost is very high. Initial cost is very high to set up a hydroforming process or hydroforming system, machine system. So this is a complete unit of high pressure machines. High pressure machines. So that's why impossible for a small volume. So अगर आपको साल भर में 5-10 vehicles बनानी है, तो this frame or this monocoque will be useless for you. If you are going for the 5 tons, so the cost will be in crores even. Near all mass production cars. So this one is very important. The disadvantage, let us understand the disadvantage, heavy and other things. How we are going to counter this? Let us understand this one. सब ULSAB frame आप देख सकते हैं कैसे होते हैं इनके कंपैरिजन में. So this one is about the Tata Sumo, the two doors here and here. So this is again a monocoque frame. Which one is monocoque? So that means sport cars and some SUVs are using this particular monocoque frame because it has advantage, a lot of advantage. Let's move ahead. Last but not the least, this one is very important and modern frame. This is called ULSAB. ULSAB means ultra light steel. The previous one monocoque made by the steel. This one we are using the composite material called ultra light steel. This one is AB means automobile body. So the name of this frame is ULSAB. So mostly costly vehicles companies are those vehicles which are really looking for passing the global crash test rating. They are using this kind of frame material, composite materials. I will say composite material for manufacturing this chassis. So the strength of this car, what is the problem? Last one, the mass was very high, so we are using the light steel. That means mass is decreased here. I'll say mass is decreased here, and also the strength is increased. Strength is increased. The process of manufacturing is same, hydroform. Sandwich steel and laser beam building. Understand the sandwich steel means it is a combination of sheets of many layers one by one. So with the help of hydroforming process we are attaching one by one. Okay, fine. So basically it has the same structure as conventional monocoque, but we are using the same manufacturing process, and this one is very important, laser wing building. I hope you know about this. This one is very simple. Go ahead. Advantage is stronger and lighter than conventional monocoque without increasing production cost. But one thing I will say, that space frame is the strongest one, because since it is very complex and volume production is no, mass production is not possible. That's why the ULSAB is playing a very important role, or giving the benefits of to automotive industries without increasing production costs. So disadvantage, what is still not strong, light enough for the best sport car. So these are the users. Even present time, near about all companies are using this ULSAB. So dear friends, I hope you understand all about the frames. If you have any kind of doubts or a query, you can directly approach to me 9990634057, or you can message in our WhatsApp group in Pune batch especially. So every day I will after the session I will record this kind of video and will give to you, because online session during the class is quite difficult. Difficult means complex. You will also not able to understand the things, because I will focus on the students which is sitting in front of me. So if I'll focus there, so the explanation of your doubts and other things will be quite difficult. So that's why I plan to give you the separate like a video to understand each and everything here. So because the previous class was quite small, because we have discussed what we will do, so I will share the things also with you. So we have planned to like construct a new bike. We will construct a new bike at the end of project, from sketch to manufacturing, everything we will do. Second one, we will understand each and everything, like frame we understand only, but we will understand the dynamics of frame also. So dynamics of frame also we will learn. That means what will happen when we are going to apply the amount of force, and other things what we can look for the brake and dynamics we'll learn. Then again we will go for the steering and dynamics. Steering and dynamics we will learn. Then we will go for the suspension and dynamics. Suspension and dynamics. Then we will go for the transmission unit. Then we will go for the aerodynamics. This one is very much important. Aerodynamics we will cover. Then after covering these things, we will move for the design and modeling and software testing. Software testing means testing of the chassis, frame and every other thing on software. We will use the SolidWorks. and NCs for that. And after the designing and modeling everything, then we will move for the fabrication portion. Go for the fabrication part. So be present in all class, doesn't matter is it online or offline. Don't skip any lecture or any video, so that you can understand why things are going on and how we will integrate the electrical things into mechanical or electronics thing into mechanical. That is going to be very interesting. So okay friends, thank you so much. We'll meet in next session. Have a good day.